Hi people, you're welcome again to the BG series. My name is Tony and today we'll be talking to you about what makes the workplace toxic. That's a familiar topic, right? And I have here with me, I'm not alone, I'm discussing with beautiful people, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to meet you. Let's get to know you. Starting from you.
Hi, my name is Okweme Posi. I'm a human resource business partner.
Good day, viewers. My name is Adishino Joseph. I'm a business analyst.
Hi everyone, my name is Esther and I'm a customer support specialist.
Hello guys, my name is Adebeshim Shola Andrew and I'm an accountant.
Hi everyone, my name is Anu. I'm a recruitment specialist.
Hi people, my name is Rashid. I'm a financial analyst.
Thank you all for joining me today. On the BG series, we talk about everything: life, business, career, growth. We want to know our opinions, want to understand where people come from in different directions. Today, like I said, we'll be gisting about toxicity in the workplace. So what makes the workplace toxic? Let's hear from you, Esther.
Okay, so I'd say from personal experience, I'll say an individual and I'll narrow it down to a boss. So you do your job every day as an employee or as probably a team lead reporting to an HOD or whatever the case may be. And then, but you have a boss who comments and talks about everything and anything that you do. Now, at first, you probably think it's related to work, right? Like you feel like, okay, your boss has the right to correct you or has the right to put you through anything, which is actually not a big deal. But then it starts to be a big deal when it looks like it's going personal. Now, personal in the sense that for everything you do, there's a comment. If you come late, there's a comment. If you don't sit down properly in the office, there's a comment. If you send a mail and you probably don't attach something or thereabouts, there's a comment. If you do the things right, there's a comment. I really don't know how to put this, but I don't know if my fellow colleagues here could understand what I'm trying to say. Now, it gets to a point where, okay, you're delivering on your job. Now, you choose to, you're due for promotion. And then, as my HOD, right, you're supposed to put me up probably in meetings of board of trustees and say, okay, my team member is due for a promotion. And then, can you put up the name for promotion? But then you don't do something like that, which of course I've come to meet you personally and say, I mean, with my numbers, meeting my KPIs, meeting my targets, I would like to be promoted, or I think I deserve a promotion. And then you already told me. Now I'm narrowing down to a personal experience. The boss tells me that, okay, no problem, you work on that and all of that. And then you go back to get a feedback and he tells you another story entirely. Now it keeps on for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you're still in that same position. And people that are not even up to you or not as productive as you are going ahead of you. Wouldn't you feel like, is there something that you're not doing right? And then you walk up to the boss and it just tells you, maybe you don't dress well or you don't relate to people well. And then you ask yourself, how else are you supposed to relate? Do you understand?
That's interesting. Anu, coming from what she said, right? So she said, rightly pointed out, as an individual. So toxicity comes from individuals in the organization. What do you think about that? Do you agree with it?
For me, I would say, at what point is that environment toxic? At what point did workplace or wherever you find yourself, at what point did it become toxic? Do you understand? So toxicity on its own in terms of work environment is when the place isn't suitable for you anymore. You don't find it productive as an individual. You don't find it as a place of, I won't use the word comfort now, but a place for you to deliver on your task or on what you're going to do. Yeah, exactly. So it seems everything is not balanced. You're going to work, you're not happy. You're meeting your colleagues, you're not happy. You're not even looking forward to coming to work the next day. Do you understand? So like she said, it starts with someone yeah, then it begins to grow. So before you know it, it grows into the organization culture at the end of the day. That's
So she mentioned a boss. She mentioned a boss. Toxicity can stem from a boss to the employees or to the staff. So she said that, probably they don't accord employees the right position, or they don't, give you what is due to you.
So,
Can that, in your opinion, do you consider that as toxic?
okay. First of all, she mentioned something which I was about asking her. She said you are supposed to be promoted at a particular time, but that wasn't done. So part of the things that can be toxic in a work environment is in terms of how staffs are being treated. Is there equality in your in the way you relate with your staff? Is one person being treated better than the other? Is one being favored than the other? That's why I say at the end of the day, it falls down to the culture there. But the truth is, if an employee isn't up to task, but she mentioned something that was very key, meeting your KPI, your target, and all, you're achieving it. So an individual like that will feel very uncomfortable working in that environment, because he or she will be at a point of, what did I do wrong? What's happening here? But if it's an individual that is not productive, even if you've been there for a while and all, and it's time for you to be promoted, if you're not doing well, if you're not promoted, that environment isn't toxic. You're the one not performing. You get what I'm saying? But when one person is treated better than the other, there's no equality, there's favorism one way or the other. This will lead to different things. That's when you see gist, you see gossip, you see friendship, you see chain of friends, chain of connection. This is my type, this is my circle, and all that.
Then you
So
see
those
some
are things
people
that can
say it to your
affect
face, and they be like,
the individual's productivity.
why you following
Yeah.
why you following the rules and regulation? Like, where is it taking you? You know, that kind of.
Because it didn't favor them.
Yeah. So no. Like they, for instance, they cut corners. Like they do. For instance, they tell you, don't cut off this particular customer. Make sure, even when you know that the issue might resolve into, like, okay, for instance, you have to tell a customer that this thing he or she wants is not possible.
Okay.
You know, there's no other way to tell someone this thing cannot be resolved. It's just not, it is what it is. But then, because you don't want to tell that person that this thing cannot be resolved, you probably just hang up the call on the customer. Now, there are ways to these things. Then we hang up the call, but they don't know that you hang up calls on such cases. So imagine you have to ignore a lot of hard responses to customers. You know, the more you get the easygoing ones, the more you have your marks growing. So you look like the person who is performing. But of course, on my part, I'm getting both the bad and the good. I'm resolving both the bad and the good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it begins to look like, do I have to break protocol?
There was something Anu said, and it stuck. She said, "At what point?" So Rashid, at what point does a workplace get toxic? Because there are different structures in an organization. The fact that it's maybe not performing well, something doesn't make it toxic. So at what point exactly does a workplace get toxic?
Okay, when we talk about toxic environment, this is very simple to identify for those that have been contributing positively to the organization. And she made mention of you doing your work perfectly and you're not recognized. That is one of the key symptoms of you identifying that there's a negative atmosphere in the organization. It happens to me, and then just that I could see it at the end of the day, the man wanted me to be better. So he never wanted to praise me for once. No matter.
But
Yes, no, yes.
So as at that time,
As
did
at
you
that time,
consider it toxic?
I didn't, but it got to a stage I saw it
there's
as
that
a
level
toxic
you
environment
get
that I
discouraged
just have
out
to
of.
leave.
So how did you
Because,
come about the fact that he just wanted you to go? How did you get that?
Yes, because I see that he never praised me for any good thing I do. However, he will communicate with the clients
okay,
that,
okay.
wow, the communication between him and the client always goes
Positive
smooth
what?
about me, that, wow, that guy
But
is
he would never
David.
say it to your
But he
face.
would never say it to my face, and he would never appreciate me. I was like, it got to a point, I was like, sir, look at what happened. He said, my friend, go and sit down. What did you do better? But at the end of the day, the client will call me like, your guy said this about you, your boss said this about you. So to me, it's still no. At some point, at some point, it's not going to be a toxic. At your learning process, it's not going to be a toxic. But at a point whereby you feel that this thing I have done it perfectly, and you're still not appreciating that little effort.
That's my point.
It can make you start questioning yourself.
I'll start questioning my existence in that organization. At that point, it makes it a toxic environment. However, I want to go by the pyramid of management where we have operational level, tactical level, and strategic level. If a colleague can make the environment toxic for you.
Definitely, that's true.
Poor communication. Instances where you have a supervisor talking to you, and at the end
shouting,
of the day,
yelling,
hissing at you, shouting at you, making the office uncomfortable for you. Fine, all those ones, they can still correct it by you reporting to a higher boss. However, if someone from a strategic level choose to make it a toxic environment for you, I am telling you, you just have to leave. Because this person could be a director.
So the strategic level is at the top of the chain.
Yes. This person could be a director that has more than just being an employee, or could even be the owner of the business.
The employer
How do you want
itself.
to go about
Exactly.
it? You try to please him. At the end, he kept telling you something else. It happens to me when in a meeting like that, I asked a question about how do we treat insurance costs and some other costs. So I responded, no, withholding taxes. So I responded very well. He said, no, that's not how to do it. He just wants to put me down. Yes, he just wants to put me down. I smiled. Your boss now, you can't challenge me.
Sure now.
I remained silent. At the end of that meeting, I said, oh, what Rashid said was correct. Inside me, I laughed. Fine, if you want to train me hard. Don't make the environment toxic.
That's the tough love approach.
Yes.
Okay, do you think that can get productivity from an employee? Okay. The tough love approach.
So, people are different. For some can understand. There are some that have, like she said, thresholds is different. So in as much as it can bring out the productivity in some persons, it can't bring out the productivity in some. So I wouldn't say it's the best approach. Yes, so for someone to use tough love approach,
I don't even think it's a good approach. I don't buy it.
It's not.
Some people might actually see it as, it's a way of
motivating them, right?
Do you
but
know
it's not best.
So I think now I would rather say maybe that wasn't toxic, because from what I think, I don't think people would see the good side in toxicity. What exactly is toxicity to you in the workplace, okay?
If that place is no longer enabling, so when I mean enabling, like she said, I'm coming to work and I'm already saying, oh God, what's this one? I'm coming to work, I'm seeing my boss, my heart is doing, I'm getting to the entrance of and my heart is skipping. So so when we were in secondary school, I went to a boarding school. So it wasn't as if the boarding house was toxic. But the feeling of, I'm coming back here again, my parents are not here with me, they just want to drop me and abandon. Anytime I'm 5 minutes to the school, my heart, I'm always start beating her. So if someone is coming to a workplace and
you're feeling that way,
no, please. It is not good. It is no longer healthy. You can't grow. It's not enabling. That's even the word. It is not enabling.
But the question is, are you saying at the end of the day you don't learn from that environment?
No, so you can learn. So there is an extent. So you won't just get into an environment and then maybe you saw that the way they are treating someone is unfair. Definitely, you're not going to leave immediately. You would stay for a while. So during the short period of time, now it still depends on the person. Some persons would not take anything from there. Because their minds are already closed. Exactly. This is how it is. Because they can't learn. It has not enabled them to actually pick anything. While some persons are the strong kind of persons
She's
that
saying
got into this
indirectly
place.
that it is possible to learn from a toxic environment. Do you get it? There is what we call microaggression. You need to learn how to manage aggression at some point in time. Do you get it? It's not because the boss is this, that you want to quit the job instantly. The boss is this.
My
Everybody will
challenge
not be like
with this
you.
is different, because now we're looking at it from the point of the employer or a strategic position. See, there are times whereby your co-employee, somebody sitting by your table, you guys are on the same level, you're on the same cadre. That person is makes you very uncomfortable at work. You understand that certain scenarios that could cause an environment being toxic. It could be in terms of bullying, it could be in terms of gossiping, it could be in terms of maltreatment, it could be in terms of yelling.
And
So
sometimes
it might
it
not
doesn't
necessarily
come
be
from
your
the
boss.
boss,
It can
right.
be a colleague that doesn't even know how to manage his or her own emotions, or cannot get themselves together, and they are yelling at you, screaming, shouting. And we are different. The way we handle situations are different. So it might not necessarily come from the top. It might come from same level. It might even come from a subordinate.
Yes.
So
A
it's at
toxic
the point
environment.
whereby the environment isn't suitable for you. You're not comfortable. You're not productive. You're not happy. You just want to move. The only reason why you're there as an employee is, maybe I need to put food on my table. I need to get the money. You can't wait for end of the month to get the cash. And you can't wait to leave the organization.
There's
so you're
no
just
growth.
managing in
There's
quotes.
no growth.
Exactly.
Talking about growth, I could speak from my personal experience. I've had a case where I worked over 2 years at a company, and for every quarter, I would say, I'd apply for a promotion, right? I'll pass the exam. I'll go for the next day to see the director or whoever is in charge. There's always no feedback of why I wasn't.
You're never promoted.
And you go to my dashboard, you see the KPIs, you see the figures, you see the comments. Do you understand? You hear colleagues say, oh, Esther is good at this, she's good at that. But you never have a reason for why you're not giving me a promotion. And I'm almost going to 3 years, and you don't have a reason why I cannot be promoted. Wow. What do you think I'm going to think?
Joseph.
How do you think I'll feel?
Yeah. Joseph, in your opinion, what are the primary causes of toxicity in a workplace? What is that thing that when you see it outrightly, you know that that's a toxic environment, or these people are toxic? What are those things to you?
Well, thank you very much. For starters, I would like to say that there is a quantity of toxicity in every organization. Immediately you enter or approach a place, you can feel it at times, but these feelings are more in some places than the others.
So the levels are varying.
It varies, and like you said, pointing at the employer, the employer, to me, I don't think an employer wants his or her company to fall down. Let's look at it this way. All the things your employer do to you as an individual, as an employee, one is to grow you. Like you rightly said, I don't expect my boss to appreciate me all the time, but I know it is to productivity. But I would rather see toxicity as a result of like you said, the human factors, the employees, the bad employees in an organization. They form a work culture, they form a cliche in the place of work. This affects, if I am employing you, for God's sake, if I don't appreciate you, if you are good and you want to go, I will not let you go. I will tell you, Tony, come. What is it? We'll talk about it at the end of the day. Yes, I may not be very happy with promoting you. Okay?
So are you going to wait to that point where I want to go?
We have had instances that there are bosses that are not very, very good to you, but when it goes to a point that you are being pushed to the wall, you understand, and you look back, they will calm down. We've had such instances. So to me, I like to look at the bad eggs in the organization.
So you're saying basically the employees, your fellow, your colleagues, your co-workers.
Yes, those are they are responsible.
They are deadlier than the distance.
Yes, they are responsible for the.
I said they are even deadlier.
Exactly, they are responsible for the high ratio or the high rates of toxicity in any environment. You understand? The boss will not want his business to fail. Let's bear that in mind. Yeah. He will not want his business to fail. If you're a good performer, he will not want to let you go. But see your colleagues, the people around you, the slanderers, the gossips, the backbiters, these are the people The bullies, yes, the bullies are the people that wants to put the business down. And the best way to treat these people is to identify them, isolate them, and remove them.
Exactly.
Do you know that we're in the era of mental health awareness, and so this topic of toxicity was actually not as profound in some years back. It's just now when people are actually they're getting more aware. Okay, putting in. So some people, I must say, some people do not consider that when developing the organization. People don't start saying, oh, okay, toxic, one toxic person. Do you get? So some people, exactly, so they do not, right. And sometimes you would be surprised that is why some organizations have not thrived. That's why they've not gone beyond where they are, right? So in the stage of, okay, excuse me, I'm talking about organizations that have already been established, not new organizations now. Organizations that are running well, and then maybe at a point in time, one bad egg comes in and, the bosses are busy doing their own things. Do you get? How do you think they can, because is it every time you go and report to your HR, hello?
You provided the solution.
Hi,
I said you identify, you isolate, and you remove.
No, so let me say this. First of all, she said this is an organization that's been in existence. Do you get? They have a structure already. They have a culture in place.
Right.
So it's possible as an employer or someone in the top place, you might not even know this thing is happening.
That's what I'm saying.
Very possible.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's why you have staff in place. You have HR.
But do you agree with me that sometimes this staff get corrupt?
No, now I'm talking about HR of an organization. Do you understand? This is like, let me use the word middleman between the management and the staff. And this is the same HR that does onboarding for any staff coming on board. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So as HR, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 5 of your employees coming to you to say, I'm not comfortable about this, or they're complaining about this, and you're still leaving this same person in your system, then you have a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the HR's duty to convey to the management that this is what is happening, why he or she is managing that situation. Do you understand? Because it falls on you our decks at the end of the day. You onboarded this employee. You should know what is happening. You are the middleman between the management and the employees at the end of the day. So the management might not know. They are busy with more strategic things. So the HR should not forget the human in human resource. That is our own duty at the end of the day. So that's it.
There are people who just have point blank bad characters. Yes. They are not toxic.
No, Tony, I don't agree. How do you have a bad character?
Give me a minute. So there are some people who need to be corrected, cautioned. They are not being toxic. No, because we're thinking about this thing as toxic. Toxic now is in our heads. Do you get? So this person, yes. So this person just has a bad character. This person is not toxic.
Can you be more specific about what kind of character?
Okay.
Is this stealing? Is it lying?
Okay. So this person can be rude. Okay. Sometimes rude is not toxic.
It is.
No, sometimes. Hold on.
Goodness is toxic.
Just hold on. Hold on.
It's very toxic.
Give me a minute.
No, you won't say goodness is not toxic
Wait,
in an organization.
The person can be rude. The person is not rude though, but the person can be rude. Okay. There are in some cases, right? People have bad characters. So there are different personality traits. There are different character traits. People have bad characters. At what point does it lead up to being toxic? So the thing is, this person, right, they've had some kind of trauma or whatever, or that's, they don't mean it that way, but they can be rude. They can be bossy. They can be, when I'm saying there are characters in my head right now.
You need to be specific,
right?
About the kind of character, the kind of bad behavior.
Their characters, like I mentioned, they can be bossy, they can be rude. At the end of the day, they don't mean to create that kind of environment, but that's their response to some situations, right? At what point do you tell this person? Do you say that this person is toxic? Does it mean that every bad character is toxic?
So, okay.
Yeah, there's something they call guilty pleasure. Yeah, everybody has it, but when it starts what's the word? It starts making your fellow human somehow uncomfortable. You're already harming the next person beside you.
That
It
is
is
just
toxic
it.
already.
Rude is toxic.
So for anybody, okay, person has PTSD, person has told maybe the trauma is what. I'm sorry, but it's still a toxic trait that's going to affect everybody. So you need help. So what the person can do is, so that's where the work of maybe the line manager, the HOD comes in, is aware of this is going on and it's already spreading. If it is not curbed, something like this is going to happen. Then the HR comes into play and they see how they can actually help the person. But that person has to be helped. They can't say because of the trauma, whatever she doesn't know what she's doing, but it is scattering, it's spreading. Yeah. There's some persons that even apart from trauma, some persons are just naturally like that. They are vindictive and they want to smash your head together. I've experienced a colleague like that. She just both the clients, my bosses, she just put our heads together, just smash their head. Now to her, it wasn't something that she wasn't she's not aware of or she didn't mean to do. That's just how she is. And she didn't see anything wrong.
That's personality.
That's it, exactly. That's personality issues. So, however it is coming, whether it is trauma or that's how you are, I'm sorry, it's still something that is harmful to other persons. It is toxic. So help.
So I like the point that you made that at the point where it gets harmful to other people, right? So because there are some people, I mean, we all have our a bad part of us, if they were to, question us, each of us. And so at the point where it becomes harmful or hurtful, to your fellow human, then it becomes toxic.
Yes.
So Shola, what can we do in an organization to control? I asked you before, right? I want you to hit the nail on the head to control this behavior. Do you just kick everybody? Do you kick people out because of that? Because see, when it comes to these behaviors and all of that, some people try to manage it. Some colleagues, you might even be friends with this person. And so you don't want your friend to get kicked out. You might try to manage that. At what point do what's the solution? What's the resolve to these behaviors? Because we would always find it, like you said, they're in varying levels. At what point is that, I've had enough of this. You leave. Or, do people, so there should be, what's the point of accountability for this type of behaviors?
Okay, so I have a different perspective on that. Someone can have a toxic behavior, like is doing this, is smashing the heads of bosses and etc. XYZ. So I think you can manage that kind of situation to an extent.
You can manage.
I think you can manage that to an extent. In a scenario whereby, this person has been productive over time.
Thank you. I like that. I like that point. Because, yes.
That will only be a mistake. Now, let's separate issues.
No. Let him finish.
If you have been productive, you cannot just turn toxic overnight. No. It could be a function of a mistake. What you are driving at.
Let him finish.
What I'm saying is, of course, everybody does have their own bad character.
Traits or bad character.
Irrespective of the bad character, a lot of people are good at what they do.
Yes. Trust me, yes. Very well.
So I can't say, because this person has a bad character and at some point is not befitting for this kind of environment.
Exactly.
I just throw you out.
How do you manage?
So I'm saying there can be ways that we can pull the person aside from the group and say, okay, this is where you work now. This is how you relate to others. Gradually. I said to an extent. So if that does work, is obviously is a good thing for the establishments in general. But if it doesn't, I don't think there's another option than that.
Yeah.
Probably
to manage.
So I think I agree. There is a room for caution. So I can't see someone that, the person asks this and then I just kicking the person out.
Of course.
Some of them might not be aware. Some of them might be aware, but because they are someone is enabling them, you are condoning it. You've not set it straight. That guy, I won't take this.
Okay,
They will keep doing it. So that's space for caution.
What do we now do at the point of repetitiveness?
That's why he said
That's why
at
you
the
can
end of
action.
this
That's why you
thing,
can
the last resort to
What I am saying is this: to be sincere, I believe this thing we call toxic, like I said earlier, is a cancer. The more you leave it, the more it grows. To be sincere, there is no way to cover it or to turn it.
So, sometimes, to interject what you're saying, sometimes cancer, there's therapy for cancer. It can be controlled.
Okay.
Right?
As a matter of fact, let me get to cancer first. It's not cancer first. It is no. Before something becomes cancerous, what's the word?
It's a growth.
But thank you. It's a growth. It's a tumor. It's a tumor first. So before it gets to cancer, you should have started working on the tumor.
Cut
Rashid, let's
Cancer is already too much.
Let's close up with you. Tell us, what is the remedy? Is there, if any, there's... Here, Sechola said that there may be a way to manage it. So, do you think it should be condoned? Do you think there's a way to remedy toxic behaviors within an organization?
Okay, this is very simple. It's just for you to have a clear and a well-defined policy in your firm. Do you get it? I still believe where there is no solid policy, any individual in the organization can do anyhow. If you have a good policy, even if you are the owner of the business, strictly adhere to the policy, then I don't think there is any business environment that will allow a toxic person, or you want to train a toxic person to grow. No. It won't make any sense. So as far as I'm concerned, just have a well-developed policy to cover these things. Like she rightly said, you are coming into an organization for the first time, you are meeting the HR. The HR should spell everything out for you. This is our policy. If it doesn't fit with you, just leave. Just leave. Because they said we need to work as a team in order to achieve the goal of the organization. So if you are toxic, how do you want to work as a team? So that's my stake on that.
Thank you. So Anu, what's your final take on, this situation? I think it's very important. It cannot be overemphasized, really, because some relationships start from the organization and they can be forever. Some friendships start from the organization, they can be forever. But in cases where, we're just coming here to work, it's not my, I don't care about anybody's behavior, I don't, what do you have to say about, relationships are important. It's very important, very necessary to value people, value the human factor in the organization, because you don't know where you meet anybody, outside the work scene. So what's, just give us finally what you...
The thing is, in as much as relationship is very important, when you're joining an organization, you're meeting the person as a colleague.
Right.
You're meeting the person as a new employee in that organization. Whatever you're doing at the beginning is not the friendship.
Right.
It's not the relationship. It's get the job done. Everything you're supposed to do is on the job. Get it done. Like you said, there's a structure, there's a policy, there's a culture. Follow that trend. Fit into that organization. Align your mind, your culture, whatever you're bringing in, your personal goals or whatever. You need to merge it with what the organization has put in place. So first of all, before you start the relationship, please create that relationship with your job description. Create that relationship with your tax. Then you can start talking about this person will be a friend, or we'll have to create relationship with this person. Yeah, I understand that relationship is very important in terms of your growth. You don't know where you meet who, you don't know who is who. First of all, do your job. Yeah. After the job, we cannot talk about the relationship. And when you're making relationship also, be fair, be truthful in the relationship. When a friend or a colleague does something wrong, tell him or her. Because at the end of the day, the job first before the relationship.
Right. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you have any final words for us, Joseph or Pe.
Well, the two speakers have spoken very well. And just to cap it all, we should not allow toxicity to grow in any organization. we should try as much as possible to keep it at the very, very minimum, because this. No. It's, you said it's not every time. You said it's not every time that one work. Well, but because we don't want the cancer to grow. We don't want the cancer to grow. That's why I provide.
At the same time, you can use training and development to correct that person.
That's why person has a manager. Person has a HR there. The workplace is not only to do work. You're also to grow. You're supposed to learn, relearn, and unlearn. It's an environment. So everything.
And identify, isolate. Sometimes you learn, relearn, and
if he's willing or she is willing to take to correction.
of course. So when it gets to the extreme, I think then you can remove, you can eject. Yes, you can. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was a wonderful discussion. I enjoyed every one of you. I mean, you guys. It was an intelligent conversation. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you took one or two things. And if you have anything further to tell us, please feel free to comment on this post and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow all our social media pages as displayed on the screen. Guys, if you have any topic of interest that you would like us to speak about, I'm your girl. Just tell me, let me know, and we would, discuss on it. Thank you so much, guys. Till next time.
BridgeGap Consults, revamping the workforce.